Hi guys, Mary Beth Temple here from Hooked for Life, and in this video we're going to make this cool Christmas wreath. Now what it is a polystyrene styrofoam wreath, and I have used fabric to make these little tufts. Now I have used fat quarters, and we'll talk about that, but you can also use, if you have scrap fabric, this is a wonderful place to use up all the scrap fabric because none of us like to throw anything out. So this is a perfect project to use up all those little bits. So let's get started on the fabric prep. Okay, the first thing I want to talk about is fabric prep. Now, the sample that I showed you, I used fat quarters. I used 3½ fat quarters, and I pinked all the edges. I like that zigzaggy look. Now, if you have scraps at home, they don't have to be the exact same size. And if you prefer to use a rotary cutter, you can cut either 2½ inch or 3-inch squares. But I am a lazy crafter. So what I did is I unfolded the fat quarter comme ça, and I cut on the lines. I cut on the lines here, and I cut halfway between the lines here. And by lines, I mean the fold lines. And then I cut up the fold lines here. That gave me sort of a rectangle shape. It's about 2½ inches. It's not exactly square, but to me personally, it was not worth the effort to get the rotary cutter out. Now, if you are the type of person that needs symmetry, then I would say cut a 2½ inch square or possibly a 3-inch square. But again, if you are trying to go through your scrap cabinet, that's okay too. You can put whatever random shapes you want. I do like the pinked edge though. I like this much better than the sort of raggedy edge or the just the plain cut edge, because you have less fraying, of course, with the pinking shears, or you can use the pinking blade on your rotary cutter. And I just think it makes a more festive look, but you can do that however you want. So again, for the sample that we showed during the intro, I used 3½ fat quarters. The next thing I need is some glue. Now make sure that whatever brand of glue that you're using, that it is suitable for foam. Not every glue works on styrofoam. Some of it degrades styrofoam, and you don't want that. So whatever glue you choose, make sure it is foam friendly, because that will make your life a lot easier in the long run. And I'm just using a little paper plate here, but you're going to pour a big glob of it out because we're going to put a little glob of glue on each piece of fabric. Now let's talk about poking. This is a specific poking tool, and you can use this. This is available stores. This is from Floracraft, and this is what I like to use because I just find it really easy. However, you can use a chopstick. You could use a pencil, not too pointy because you don't want the point to go through the fabric. You could use anything long and thin that will make a hole in styrofoam. You don't have to have a tool. Again, a lot of people use pencils. I think the hole is a tiny bit too big. I don't like the hole to be huge because I don't want the fabric to fall out. But any kind of pokey thing that floats your boat, end of a knitting needle, anything will be fine. So what I like to do is spread my colors around. I used 4 different patterns in this sample. And so what I don't want to do is put all the ones here and then all the ones here and then all the ones here, because if I run out, then my colors are not going to be evenly dispersed. So I'm going to take the cut fabric with the right side of the work towards my tool, whatever tool I'm using, and I'm going to wrap it, hold it like that. I'm going to dip it in the glue, and I'm going to stab. It does not have to go way in because the glue is going to hold it in place. And this is really all there is to it. But like I said, I like to sort of spread them around so that I get my colors dispersed well all around the wreath. You don't have to put any on the back. You do have to get some on the sides and some on the inside. So let's talk about that for a second. You want to make sure you have some on the inside of the wreath so that you're not seeing styrofoam. And you want to make sure you have some on the outside edge. Not all the way around to the back, but towards towards the back of the wreath. Again, just so when you're looking at it on your door or wherever you're going to hang it, you're looking at pretty fabric and not white styrofoam. So what I like to do is to, again, I'll go all the way around and work in all different spots. So generally speaking, I'll use one color and work it all the way around, and then I'll use the next color and work it all the way around, and then the third color and the fourth color, and then I let it dry, and then at the very end, I like to go back again and make sure that I'm not seeing any styrofoam anywhere. And if I am, I'll just cut a couple extra squares and fill in the holes. That make sure it dries, because the glue is going to hold these guys in place as you use your decorative wreath. And then hang it up and call it a day. You can tie bows on it, you could tie bells on it, you could add some pine cones, any kind of floral picks that you can find at the craft store that are already on the pick, you can put the pick right in. There's all kinds of ways you can customize it, but don't get yourself crazy. You don't have to poke it so far in that your tool comes out the other end. You know what I mean? Just make sure it's in there enough that that glue has something to grab onto. And that's all there is to it. Wasn't this fun? This is a Christmas wreath, but you could make one for any holiday, and it's a terrific way to use up all the fabric scraps that all of us have. I'm Mary Beth Temple for Hooked for Life. Thanks so much for joining us.